On October 3rd, 2015, the Clemson Tigers won a game that put the name and the brand of Clemson football into the national lexicon of college football. And now, a little over 8 years later, the Tigers have a chance to put their name back on the map as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish come to Death Valley for the first time since that fateful night almost 8 years or over 8 years ago. That was the Hurricane game, and now Clemson football is trying to weather a storm, a tough stretch here in 2023 as Coach Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers look to right the ship and get back to their winning ways. And so, Griffin, Clifton, it's a little bit appropriate. I would think that it's Notre Dame that's coming into Death Valley this Saturday with and poses as Clemson's chance to kind of right all of these wrongs that have taken place so far, when it was Notre Dame those 8 years ago that really put Clemson on the map for good.
Yeah, I think this game's huge for Clemson. I think that they can, first of all, prevent a 3-game skid, which I don't remember the last time that happened in Clemson football. But you have a huge chance to kind of flip the whole program around because people will remember big games and big wins. So if you beat Notre Dame this Saturday, you have the complete right to, flip the switch and kind of just right the ship in a better direction.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that Clemson, like you said, hasn't lost 3 games in I can't remember how long, and this game is huge. This game's really huge. I truly believe if Clemson could somehow win this ball game, that the next 3 games after that, the defenses are horrendous, and there's a possibility we could win 4 straight here if we can get past Notre Dame.
Right. So. And look, make no mistake, Notre Dame is a very good football team. They've been ranked in the top 10 pretty much all season long. Yes, they lost to Ohio State. It was a 3-point game. But this is a team that has weapons all over the field. It's a tough test, and nobody's under any illusion that it's not. And frankly, there has been a lot of negativity surrounding the Clemson program, and it feels like, and we've talked about this at length, there's really no need to go back into it, and we won't. But a lot of people out there feel like the sky is falling. And we've had our share of we've postulated our fair share of negativity as well. But I think tonight, I think it's also fair to go back and look, and we're going to talk about some positive things as well, because there are. And there's also hope and optimism. And look, if you don't have hope and optimism and you don't have that positive base, then how can you use that, or how can you not have that to use as a springboard to move the program forward? This Saturday is an opportunity to do that. So it's a challenge. But hasn't Clemson football and Dabo Swinney, haven't they always thrived on rising to the biggest challenges that are put in front of them?
For sure. And Dabo's been counted out before. This Clemson team has been counted out before. And what better way to do it in front of their home fans? I don't think this Clemson team, especially after what has gone on this whole week, they don't want to lose a second game at home. And especially if it's close, which I think the game will start off very close, I don't think they're going to want to, hold that. So you have all the ball's in your court. It's your home fans, it's your home team. You gotta completely just do a complete 180. Now's your time. If not, you're taking a skid the next 3 weeks and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I fully believe that. Like I said earlier, I think this is a game that is pivotal to our season. And if we do win this game, I think it's going to be close the whole way through. I think it could be, a 24-17, 17-14, some type of game. But if you guys remember, they also lost to Louisville, and Louisville turned them over 5 times. Count that, 5 times. And so if our defense, like I was talking about last podcast, can get some turnovers and make their quarterback, Brainport, throw some picks.
Hartman.
Yeah, Sam Hartman.
Look, I think we might want to forget his name. I mean, this is the 6th year in a row we faced him. Just seems like he's the perpetual college football player. But Clemson fans, we still have some nightmares about what he did to us at Wake Forest last year. We won the game, but hey, we're going to talk more about Sam Hartman and the matchup problems he presents. because he
Yep.
has long been a bane in the backside of Clemson.
Yeah, he sure has. Like I was saying, if we could get some turnovers, make him throw some picks, and maybe get a fumble here, there, this game we could win this game. Because I think we can win the game defensively. I think the defense is going to have to win it.
Yeah, and look, the law of averages is going to catch up at some point, and as good as the Clemson defense has been, and we talked about that in the last video, Clifton, how as good as the defense has been, they've not forced a lot of turnovers. They haven't taken the ball away from opponents nearly as much and at the same rate and ratio as opponents have taken it from us. And it's a tough task. Look, you've got Sam Hartman, and he's an experienced sixth-year quarterback, something that you just rarely see. He's got weapons all around him, but you pointed to the Louisville game, and it shows that it can be done, absolutely. And so I think if you start to get some of those breaks going your way, if the law of averages catches up and plays out, you turn those guys over a few times, and I think anything's on the table at that point, even though you might look at it and say on paper, hey, Notre Dame has the edge this year. Well, Clemson's had the edge in a lot of the games that they've lost, quite frankly, and the turnover margin has made the difference. Force them to cough the ball up, anything can happen.
For sure. And I think the biggest X factor on this Notre Dame offense is their running back, Audric Estime. He is an absolute – if you want to define a power back, he is the definition of a power back. I don't know. I think he's like 6'3", 245 as a running back, which
That's
is
insane.
It's insane. He's a big guy.
It's crazy.
And he's came in huge for Notre Dame as a rusher. And I think Clemson will have caught a break because I believe, yes, Notre Dame's tight end Mitchell Evans out for the year. Sam Hartman's top guy, which is huge. So I think Notre Dame is going to come out with a kind of a more stronger approach of the rushing attack. But Clemson have done a good job of it. They haven't let a rusher in the triple digits yet. But Estime last year did, I think it was like around 112 and a touchdown, which, you have to keep that in mind. But, contain him, it's a completely one-dimensional game. And we've seen what Hartman does when you have to throw the ball. And I'll get to that a little bit later, but the key here is you just have to stop the rushing attack because Estime, I think at the beginning of the season was averaging like 8 or 9 yards a carry, which was it was incredible. So you got to put strong emphasis on him, is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, and look, for Clemson defensively, when it comes down to stopping the run, you need a full complement of your front seven and guys that you can roll out there and keep fresh. Now, Peter Woods missed the NC State game. He was banged up a little bit. So there's some injury concerns there. And on the offensive side as well, we'll get to that in a minute. But look, the fact remains is you need guys like Peter Woods, Maskell. You need everybody healthy because you're going to have to fire all of your bullets out of the cannonballs out of the cannon at these guys on Saturday if you have a chance to win.
Yeah,
for sure.
I firmly believe that. We've got to come out slinging that ball, I think. And especially, I'll be honest with you, I think if Shipley is out, which I think he is because of concussion protocol, I think if Maffa gets to start and we get that running game going, that I think it's going to open up the field for Cade and the wide receivers.
Yeah, and I think that could very well be the case. And now, Griffin, when I look at this matchup, and especially with the tight end out for Notre Dame, and again, that's Hartman, that was his favorite target. And, all of a sudden, that kind of hamstrings him a little bit in what he wants to do. Now, at that point, with such a big target in the passing game taken out of the equation, do you think you could possibly see a situation where Wes Goodwin starts to cheat his corners up a little bit, maybe cheat the corners and safeties up and bring them in on run support, sell out on stopping the run at least early and try to force Hartman to beat you through the air without his favorite target? Could that be a consideration?
I think that's the key to the game. I'm looking at Notre Dame's losses. They lost to Ohio State, which Ohio State, the number one team in the country now. And, I didn't expect Notre Dame to win that game. They kept it close. But I'm looking more at the Louisville game. And Louisville stopped the run off the cut. I think estimated 20 yards. Forced Sam Hartman to throw. He had 3 interceptions. He's trigger happy when he sees an open guy. And I think that's the perfect way to put it. If Wes Goodwin is able to stop the run early, able to keep Estime or any of the rushers out of the game, and you have to force Hartman to throw without his top guy, he's going to mess up, and he's prone to be doing that over the last few years at Wake Forest. So if you do that, I think that you have much of a better chance, especially if you capitalize on it early on.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so key to the game defensively is you've got to stop the run. We know how prolific the Fighting Irish can be, and if you do that, then I think that there are some matchups that you can prey upon in the passing game if you're the Clemson defense, because the secondary has been so good this year with Nate Wiggins and Sheridan Jones, Andrew Makuba. It's not been a secondary that opponents have found very much success passing against. And so you're exactly right, guys. If you can stop or at least limit the run game and force them to try to throw the ball as a means to beat you, then I do think the Clemson defense can have some success slowing this Notre Dame team down. Now, on the other side of the ball, the sledding gets a little bit tougher because Notre Dame, of course, has a very, very good defense. And it's a Clemson offense that, frankly, has been stuck in neutral, if not going slowly backwards over the last several weeks. So if you're looking for a team to face to get things going on that side of the ball, maybe Notre Dame's probably not the first choice you would look at.
Absolutely not. And they are fourth in pass defense. They only allow 158.6 yards per game, which is abysmal, especially with a Clemson passing attack that has not been good at all. So in that case, I think the key to the game for Clemson is you have to run the ball. When it's second and short, first and short, you have to get those yards, maybe third and short, second down and short. You basically, on the offensive side, I think you have to play how you did against Florida State, where you can't have the 3 and out. Every time you cross midfield, you have to take the chances. You have to be aggressive, go for it on fourth down, and you have to try to find the end zone at some point. But I think the catalyst of that is going to have to be the rushing attack. That's why Phil Maffa is my X factor on the offensive side, because if he has an 100-yard game, I think that you're looking at a positive outlook for Clemson. But I think the passing attack is something that you should moreover avoid, especially if you're down big to the Irish. I don't think that Clemson will be coming back into this game. So you have to keep it close starting off. You can't go down too heavily, and you can't rely on the passing attack to keep you in the game because Notre Dame will punish you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Cliff, I was just going to say, and that with a good pass defense and a quarterback in Cade Klubnik, who has been gun shy at times and has been prone to making mistakes when he's been pressured and forced on the run, I firmly expect Notre Dame to send a lot of pressure and blitz packages at Cade, if not get the sack outright, but to try to force him into leaving the pocket and get him on the run. And if you get him on the run and he forces a bad throw, then you've got those guys on the back end that are just going to feast on that. I would be fully shocked if Notre Dame did not come out and blitz early.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you said, Notre Dame's got a good pass defense, and but I think something that's going to be big for Cade is or big for the offense maybe, is I think they really need to get Cade in the running game. Because maybe that could open up the pass a little bit, maybe, first series, do a couple quarterback runs and running plays and open up that pass game a little bit.
Look, one of the prettiest plays in football when it's ran correctly is a naked bootleg with the quarterback. So haven't seen Clemson run that too much. Maybe throw that little wrinkle in there and get Notre Dame thinking a little bit. At least give them something to chew on and maybe say, hey, you know what? We can't exactly key on one particular aspect of this Clemson offense. Mix it up a little bit. Get some plays to get the ball out quickly. You can still get the ball out quickly and still get it in space to your playmakers. And I think that's going to be critical on Saturday. You want it in the hands of your best guys, but at the same time, I think you're going to have to find a way to maximize how quickly you can get it out of his hands. If Notre Dame brings pressure, much as we've harped on it, as much as we hate to say it again, I'm just not sure how well the offensive line for Clemson is going to hold up against Notre Dame pass rush.
I think another big thing is down the stretch, how is Clemson going to play? If they keep it close, because Notre Dame has, and I'm not putting this arguably, they have had the toughest schedule in college football. They have had to play through, I think, 5 or 6 ranked teams. They've had to play teams like USC, Ohio State, So they're ready for a mental game. They're ready for a slow physical game that Clemson could bring. So down the stretch, it's a lot on the grit as well of the Clemson players because Notre Dame's going to bring it. So at the same time, you have to stick with it no matter what. And it's been a tough season. So you're going to find out a lot on the mental state of this Clemson team, strictly because if they want it more and they want to take it down the stretch, you're going to see a Clemson win. If not, Notre Dame's going to take over and, sneak away late in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'm going to go back to the defense. I think we got to play great defense.
Agreed.
And
That's for sure.
well, we got to stop that run. And I think that's one thing about our defense is we have a good run defense. And I think our pass defense is, it's okay. It's good. But I think with the running game that they have and the running back that they have, our run defense is going to have to be excellent. And Cade's just on Cade's side, he just can't throw any interceptions. Can't.
Right. Look, the Clemson turnovers have been almost as predictable as death and taxes this season. It's come to the point that in certain situations, we've seen the movie play over and over again, and you almost expect there to be a turnover. I'll be the first one to raise my hand and admit this. On the 2 plays that Phil Maffa scored touchdowns from the 1-yard line against NC State, I was firmly expecting both times for there to be a fumble. It's just happened so many times on the same spot up the field and in key situations that until you start to see something different happen and until you see different results, you've almost become conditioned to expect the worst to happen. Now, thankfully, Phil Maffa got the ball 2 times from the 1-yard line, and lo and behold, he scored twice. So if you can get him going in the run game, and if he proves to be an option to run the football in the red zone or inside the 10 or 5-yard line, if he can do that effectively, then again, I think it changes the entire outlook for the Tigers on this ball game, gives you a greater sense of optimism.
Yeah, don't forget that he had that 43-yard run too. So,
yeah, no kidding. And I think it demonstrates even further why Phil Maffa needs the ball in his hands. And it is even more unfathomable why he has not gotten more touches in crucial situations. Would have thought it would have been obvious at this point.
Well, on the bright side, here's his time to shine, right? He has the running back room to himself. He is not under the lights. It's a noon game, but he's at one of probably the biggest stage in Clemson season. So we're going to learn a lot about him, whether he takes this opportunity or truly he doesn't. And, Shipley's the top guy, but I believe in him. Seeing what he did, especially in the latter half of the NC State game, punching in for 2 scores. At the end of the day, like you said, Garrett, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just put him in there. He's a big back. He's tough to take down. And besides the whole Duke mishap, I have all faith. I have all faith.
And look, for God's sake, whatever you do, please do not call a rollout to the right and a back shoulder fade to the left from the 1-yard line again, because Clemson did that at NC State too. And needless to say, the result was predictable. Ball got broken up and very easily could have been intercepted. So you've got 235-pound running back in Phil Maffa. Let's not be throwing rollout back shoulder fades inside the 1-yard line. You get down there, hand the ball to the big guy. Just let him do what he's going to do.
It's not like Miami or NC State. If Notre Dame, if you throw a pass like Cade has done in instances, they're going to punish you, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, I think we're going to have to run the ball, and we're going to have to run the ball often. And we're going to have to be productive. Get Cade comfortable. Maybe throw I hate to say this, but a few short passes and get them completed to get him comfortable throwing the ball. And then, maybe take a shot down the field, just to see what happens. Because I'm already going into this game, and I'm already giving Notre Dame 7 points at least on a turnover, because I know we're at least going to have one, and I don't know what it's going to be or when it's going to be, but I'm already going into the game giving Notre Dame 7 points. So, that's just who we are. So.
Well, there's one other thing we can talk about that can play a big factor in this game, and that is fire and motivation for the Clemson Tigers to get things turned around. And essentially, they're playing for their manhood at this point. Now, I can assure all of our watchers, all of our listeners, that none of the three of us sitting here on this show are Tyler from Spartanburg. None of us have riled up Dabo Swinney like that, at least not that we know of. But I can tell you what we are. We are fans of our sponsor, Arden's Burger Grill at 1280 18 Mile Road Central. And so you can go see those guys for all of your game day food needs. Go get some of their famous double dipped wings. Those are our favorite. They've also got mouth-watering burgers and sizzling grills. So go see those guys and tell those guys thank you from Around the Paw. They'll make sure you're well taken care of. Arden's Burger Grill, 1280 18 Mile Road, Central, South Carolina. Now, guys.
Don't forget, they also have Asian food.
Yes, they do. They run the entire gauntlet, and it's all good. You cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
But guys, all right. So it was a crazy start to the week, to say the least. By now, everybody knows who Tyler, or at least think they know who Tyler from Spartanburg is. But everybody's heard the infamous call in to Dabo Swinney's Q&A show, and how that went. Coach Swinney really going scorched earth for 6 minutes. And you know what? Say what you want. Everybody's got differing opinions. Was Tyler right? Was Coach Swinney right? But it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme, because, look, sometimes you need unexpected things to come along to light a fire and provide motivation. And quite frankly, if this lights a fire under Dabo Swinney, and the transitive property takes it over to the team, and they come out like a house of fire and just hammer Notre Dame on Saturday, then frankly, I'm glad Tyler from Spartanburg called.
I think it was the perfect time to. I mean, I have my own thoughts on him on the whole phone call thing. I'm glad that Dabo defended himself, but I hope it did light a fire. This is kind of just like the experiment. Did it work? Did it not work? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm glad Dabo said what he said, defended his honor, defended his religion, the way he does things at Clemson. I am 100% behind Dabo Swinney. And I would say 98% of the Tiger fan base is
98.5.
98.5%.
for sure.
Now, look, I'll say this. There have been, and this includes all of us, we've been frustrated. We've been angry at times this season. And I think that's just part of the natural territory with being a fan. Because, look, we are forced to look at things with a little more of an objective lens, maybe more so than others. But at the end of the day, we're also fans of Clemson University and Clemson football. And so we get frustrated too. But I agree with both of you. When somebody challenges your honor and challenges your faith or challenges your manhood, at that point you become fair game. And is Dabo Swinney without faults? Absolutely not. Has he done some things that probably he realizes or wishes he would have done differently in hindsight? Sure. But as critical as even we have been at times, the fact remains that Dabo Swinney took a Clemson program that had not had a hint of success in a very long time and took this program to heights that none of us could have ever dreamed possible. And, a lot of teams, and I agree with him when he said this, a lot of teams would be thrilled to be in Clemson's position. And frankly, that's true. The man has done something right to win 2 national titles in 7 years, 6 college football playoffs, 4 title game appearances, 7 out of 8 ACC championships prior to this year. Has he done some things wrong? Probably. Has he done a hell of a lot right? You're damn right he has. And so as critical as we have been, the man deserves the benefit of the doubt. He absolutely deserves the chance and then some to fix it. I think he will. And personally, if this serves as the lighter of a fire, I think that Saturday could be a good chance to start.
For sure. And 4 games, you got 4 games left in the season, maybe another one from a bowl game. You're just going to see it out. And I know that that's what he's doing. He's seeing out players, coaches, the whole nine. Transfer portal, he's a little bit stubborn on, so I'm not 100% if he uses that. But I'm all for him. I think that he's going to do the right things this offseason to get Clemson back at the top of the ACC, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I think that he's only going to put it in a positive direction.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that, Dabo, here's the thing. Dabo has done it one time, right? We were 6-6 at one point when he was coaching. We were 4-4, whatever. Then we went on a 10-year run of 10, or excuse me,
12-year
run of 10 wins or more. Yep. So, and he, like you said, he has the right. He's earned the right to have a down season. I mean, not that he wants to, but if he does, it's okay. I fully believe that he's going to get us back to that 10-win mark. Maybe not next year, but it might be the year after that. I hope it's next year, but we'll see. I mean, it all comes down to what he does in the off season. And I do think that there are going to be a good many changes. Who it is, what it is, we're not sure yet. But you're right, Dabo. I fully believe in Dabo, and I think we're gonna be back.
Right. Sure. And look, this isn't necessarily germane to the game on Saturday, but I do want to drop this thought in there. And I think for a long time, or I shouldn't say a long time, that's not the right terminology, but I think there has been kind of a perception over the last couple of seasons that Dabo has gotten complacent, that he's won at the highest level, he's been to the mountaintop, and that perhaps a bit of apathy has kicked in. What I heard in the 6 minutes that he eviscerated Tyler from Spartanburg was the Dabo Swinney that cares about winning and cares about Clemson University more than anybody. And to me, that was all of the hurt, the frustration, all of the pain that he himself has endured as the leader of this program. All that did was finally, it lanced the boil. It lanced the boil, and it all poured out into 1 6-minute diatribe. And frankly, sometimes you need that emotional release. And if that accomplished that goal, more power to him. I think he was right. I agree with you guys. Now that it's all said and done, everybody's got out what they wanted to say. Hell with it. Let's go shock the world and beat Notre Dame at 12 noon on Saturday.
Amen, brother. Let's do it.
It's a perfect chance. I mean, everything's set up for this. All you got to do is prove him wrong. You have the talent to do it too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
So,
yep.
That's going to do it for this episode of Around the Paw. And hopefully the next time we're coming right back at you, is we're going to be talking about a Notre Dame beatdown in Death Valley and the Clemson Tigers coming out victorious in the start of what's going to be another glorious run of Clemson football. So until then, we thank everybody for watching. We invite everyone to check us out. Our website is clemsonsportsmedia.com. We have lots of great coverage there daily, lots of cool stories, columns, features, and game coverage, anything to satisfy your lust for Clemson football and Clemson athletics. And then check us out on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe at Clemson Sports Media. You can find us there on YouTube and on Twitter. Follow us at CU Sports Media. And so you can check us out just about anywhere, and we're happy to bring all of that to you. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm Garrett Mitchell for Griffin Barfield and Clifton Kennedy saying until next time, go Tigers, beat Notre Dame.
Go Tigers, beat Notre Dame.